Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my Arrow episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Arrow titled Dangerous Liaisons. And it's good to be back after that month-long break all these DC shows took. And so far this week, they've all been really solid episodes between Supergirl, The Flash. And I enjoyed this episode of Arrow, but if any of you out there are Felicity fans or Felicity fans, you guys are watching my videos, I recommend skipping this review because honestly, I have a lot to say about Felicity tonight. I don't want to offend any of you guys, and I'm not gonna like go out of my way to, bash fans of Felicity or fans of Felicity or whatever. But I'm gonna be very anti-Felicity tonight. Just giving you guys a heads up, so when you guys see me possibly going off on a rant tonight, you guys know why. So this episode, it's dealing, we don't see Prometheus in this episode, but it's dealing with, Prometheus being on the run and everyone trying their best to try to still find him and take him down. And tonight's episode, we see the team teaming up with Argus, which is nice because I feel like we haven't seen too much of Argus in the last few seasons. So it's nice seeing the team team up with them. And I'm seeing just kind of I like seeing Argus still around because even I thought like after the death of Amanda Waller last year that they wouldn't have, kept Argus as around as much as a story point. But I'm glad that they did, and it's cool. Lila's the head of them, and seeing Lila back, I think she's been a really interesting character. And we haven't really seen much of her this season. She had a small role to play in the Invasion crossover, which I thought was cool. I just wish they used a little more of her. But all in all, I think this episode was, outside of the Felicity stuff, I really, really enjoyed. There's a lot of stuff going on, with Wild Dog, and, with Renee, and with him and his daughter. He actually see his daughter, and I thought that was actually really nice. And, obviously it's all about Lance, because Lance is kind of taking Wild Dog under his wing. And especially they focus on just Lance wanting Renee to take the chance to be there for his daughter and to cherish the moments he has with her, because obviously Lance is still dealing with the death of Laurel from around this time last year, and he doesn't want to see Renee have to deal with not seeing his daughter when he has the opportunity to. So I thought that was I like their dynamic. I still think it's weird that Renee calls him Haas. I just that's a weird little thing that bugs me. I don't know why. Nothing to do with the character. I don't know why it bugs me. But so that was nice to see, and I liked Curtis in action in this episode. Again, Curtis has been really growing on me. There's still bits of dialogue that I think are still poorly written that come out of Curtis, but again, that's the writing, not the actor or anything like that. Because I think Curtis's character, he's growing on me, and I'm liking him, and I'm liking seeing him out in the field more as Mr. Terrific. Because I think now his costume looks good, and I like him out in the field using the T-spheres and stuff, and he's an interesting character. I like seeing him out there, with Dinah, she's had a bigger role to play in this episode, and I liked her, and I feel like they're not using her enough, even though, circumstances that brought her into the show aside. I do like her character. She's interesting. I still thought Laurel was a deeper character, because they're not really giving Diana much to work with, except for just being, the physical replacement for Black Canary on the team, and not much else. I mean, the character is still cool, and I like seeing her on the team. I just wish that if they were going to introduce this new character, just give her more depth. That's just all I would want in that character. And it's going to be hard to focus on that when they bring Katie Cassidy back as Black Siren. And for anyone who's been asking me my thoughts on that in the Arrow trailer from last week, that was teasing the rest of the season with the return of Manu Bennett as Slade Wilson. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Next episode, it's going to be an All-City episode, and I'm really not looking forward to it. Again, anyone who knows me and has watched my videos for the past year and a half, I hate All-City. I hate everything about it, everything that's come out of it. And I'm not looking forward to next week, so I'm hoping any romantic tension between Oliver and Felicity ends next week. Oliver, because he's been the only one to kind of see why, or not see why, to still kind of not be over Felicity, and he hasn't really spoken out against Felicity really. And then in this episode, you did get to see Oliver, kind of confront Felicity, and he's not kind of just let her get away with this. And at least I would hope that he's not, in this next week, and because of the end of this episode teasing what's going to happen next week, Prometheus kind of locks and kind of destroys the cave or the bunker or whatever they want to call it, and it's just Oliver and Felicity are trapped in it, and Felicity's going to lose the ability to walk because he let out an EMP, so obviously the device that's making her walk is going to be off, so she's going to be paralyzed again. I think Oliver, he's been holding back a lot with Felicity, but I think he needs to let it all out and tell her how he really feels, because I think you could tell Oliver's been holding back a lot, and he's trying his best just not to argue or fight with Felicity, which I think is a good thing for his character to do, because Oliver has been very hypocritical in the past about certain things, and I think he's just doing his best to not create conflict, especially with Felicity, because there's still those like unresolved feelings towards each other. So I guess he doesn't want to further the problems between the two of them or anything like that. So I understand why, and I think as characters, it's good for him to not just lash out at Felicity all the time, because that would make him unlikable too. But I think he does need to be upfront and honest with her about his feelings, because obviously, again, you can tell he's holding back. But, and for the main part of this episode dealing with Helix, I'm glad the whole Helix storyline seems to be over, because I haven't really liked them, because it's made for, frankly, an uninteresting storyline with Felicity. And here are my thoughts on Felicity. Felicity needs to be gone from the show, and I'm gonna do my best to keep it civil and not just go in full rant mode. But I just think after tonight's episode, Felicity showed that she's pretty much done with the team, and she can say, "Oh, I'm only doing this because I want to track Chase." I feel like after everything that Felicity's done this season, I think she's betrayed the team. I don't think she's worthy of being on the team. She's been really selfish, and I don't think, character-wise, I don't think there's any more for the character to go. And I hope they write the character off, and I know they won't, because there's a big Felicity fan base. I don't. And you guys know I've hated Felicity these last few seasons, and I'm trying to keep myself reserved and somewhat professional, I guess. But there's nothing likable about Felicity anymore, and especially the way she treated the team and treated Oliver, and just the way they've written Felicity. And it sucks because Felicity was one of my favorite characters in the show in the first couple of seasons, but when they forced her to be in this relationship with Oliver, where it's like, at first, I was rooting for them to be together because there was that romantic tension, and Steven Amell and Lilette Rickards do have good chemistry together on screen. But when they focused on the relationship and not on the story, that's when Arrow fell off the cliff of quality. And I just feel like, to me, her character has just gone downhill so quick, and I just, again, from someone who used to love her character, I don't want to hate her, but the show and the character haven't done anything to make me want to like the character again. And then especially when they've jammed her in certain episodes and stuff, and just when I watch the 4-way crossover every once in a while, just because I really enjoy those episodes between all the different shows. And every time I get to that line of Felicity, which is best team up ever, that's just so cringy to me. And it's certain things that she does are just so cringy, and I hate. And in this episode, just this is the episode I've almost hated her the most. And I get that you're not really supposed to like her in this episode. I mean, I don't know if people are going to react mixed to this episode. There are people like, oh, this gave me more reason for like Felicity, because she's standing on her own and she's not relying on Oliver and all that stuff. And I'm not saying she's a bad character because she's making her own decisions and she's not agreeing with Oliver. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just thinking, from what she's betrayed the team, and I can't let go of that. And it's not even the fact that I'm not. I'm just trying. I'm sorry. I'm already just kind of rambling here. I'm just doing my best to not offend anyone. I'm just trying to, again, keep myself professional, and I don't think it's a good idea to keep Felicity around. That's my honest opinion. And I'm not looking forward to next week's episode, really. And it sucks because this season's been so good. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's back to seasons 1 or 2 quality, but it's been the most consistently good season since season 2. And it's just, when they focus on Felicity, and as a fan of the show who left the show for a while because of Felicity and Olicity and the death of Laurel, it's those things that when I'm reminded of those things, I'm just why am I looking forward to this show again? And it's hard because I'm so conflicted, because again, there's the fan of me that's the show's been so good, and it's I should be looking forward to these episodes, but then I'm well, they're focusing on a character that has been kind of the reason why I have not enjoyed the last number of seasons. So it's just, I'm really conflicted about that. So next week, I'm just if it's a bad episode, it's a bad episode, whatever. I'm just gonna kind of ignore it and then just move on to the next episode and just hope that one's better. And I'm not trying to be going with negative intentions with the episode or hoping that it fails. I I don't have high hopes for it. It's just hard for me to have high hopes when they're going to be focusing on a relationship that I'm so against. And that relationship is one of the reasons why I gave up on the show for a while. And I just don't want to just get my hopes high for an episode that, again, doesn't have anything that I like in it. So, the episode can prove me wrong, and I'll be the first to admit that, hey, I was wrong. That, this episode was better than I thought it was going to be because it didn't focus on too much on the relationship. But it's hard to say because promos are focusing on them and their relationship and stuff like that. And I see all the Felicity fans are like, "Oh, Felicity is rising" and all this stuff, and that's just like reminding me of like just why I didn't like the show for so long. And I'm just doing my best to just be civil and mature about it. So yeah, and so. Again, my thoughts on this whole episode. I enjoyed the episode minus Felicity. And honestly, frankly, I think Felicity got what she deserved by getting kicked out of Helix because that whole storyline just made Felicity a even weaker character than she already was, in my personal opinion. And I didn't like her in this episode, and I hate that she betrayed the team and betrayed Oliver. And I'm not gonna forgive her for that. And but other than that, I liked all the other aspects of the episode. Obviously, there's more tension between Diggle and Lila. Are they going to get divorced? What's going to happen with them? I guess we'll find out in the next couple of episodes. It's hard to say what they're going to do at this point because it's not like their marriage is like a focal point in the show, but their relationship has been somewhat important to Diggle. It has been important to Diggle's character ever since even first season when they introduced Lila. So I am just really looking forward to what they do in terms of the storyline of them and the plot of the show, the rest of the season. Because again, it's wrapping up. It's like cranking up to be a good rest of the season. It's just like the All City stuff is the stuff I'm just not looking forward to. But so with that being said, it's gonna be it for me. So what did you guys think of this episode? Again, I apologize if I offended anyone or anything. I try to be as mature as I could about this without going to full rant mode. I'm trying to just be unnecessarily mean because I do enjoy the show, and I know I've gone on full rant mode in the past about Felicity and stuff like that, and I don't like to look immature, especially to my audience or to the few people that watch my videos. So and I hope that people do find enjoyment in the things I say, or agree with me or disagree with me, so we can at least talk about it and just be a part of this community and just discuss things with one another in a civil way. And I think that's one of the things I'm going to try to do my best to promote from now on. Not that I didn't promote that in the past, but I've noticed I've just acted in an immature way in the past about certain characters like Mon-El on Supergirl and like Patty Spivot in The Flash and Felicity on Arrow, and I feel like there's more mature ways I can handle my thoughts on these characters. So again, that was just my little bits on that. So again, if you guys like what you see here, hit subscribe below. I do videos all the time on my channel. That's it for the DC shows this week, but next week I will be back to reviewing Supergirl, The Flash, and Arrow on a weekly basis because now that the shows are back until their respective finales. But in the next month or so, I will be doing more reviews and stuff. I should be doing a full season review for the CW show Riverdale because I've been really enjoying that show, so I think I'm going to do a full season review of that. You guys can check that out once the season's over. And Guardians of the Galaxy coming up soon, or coming out like next week, and so I might be doing a review for that once I see it, as well as any other reviews I'll be doing in the future. You guys check those out. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.